Bonaducci, life coach. Danny Bonaducci, life coach.
That's me, Danny Bonaducci, life coach. Give me a call right now. Me and Rick Jones from Goldberg Jones at 1-800-DIVORCE. Call us right now, 1-800-252-1025. Right now, I want you to call up with any of your problems. The phone lines are open. We're doing this right now. It's brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE. And you can call us for Life Coach at 1-800-252-1025. Call right now. Let's start off with Butch from Tacoma. What up, Butch?
Hey, not much, man. My brother and his wife are entering into a divorce. And we have a corporation together and also an LLP where we own a bunch of houses with property management and a cabin up in the mountains. And I'm curious, how is this divorce going to affect me and my family?
Before I go to Mr. Jones, let me take a cheap shot here. Is she on any documentation of any of this?
As far as I know, just their house.
Okay, here's what I am going to tell you, and then Rick Jones is going to tell you down to the dime. That's the difference between us. Things are going to get really unpleasant in your house for a while. Okay, here's Rick Jones.
He's absolutely right, actually, to begin with. But let's dive more specifically into the question in terms of the corporation. She doesn't appear as an officer on this, am I correct?
No, we've been partners I've been there for 37, he's been there for 32, they've been married for about 25.
Okay, most of the grief that's going to be experienced is going to be by your brother, which means there's really not an inroad for her to gain ownership into the corporation, but there is inroads for her to get community value out of what may have been created during their marriage. So it's really about a quantifying, a money issue, a money grab often. Now, from your perspective, what may feel cumbersome or intrusive is the fact that there may be a valuation done of your corporation where the books have to be open so that there can be a determination of whether or not there's any community value, and if so, what her share might be.
You got that?
Yeah, I got that. And what about like the cabin up in the mountains that we own outright? Is that something that might be forced into a sale or anything?
Well, the real key, again, this is really, the divorce is going to be between your brother and his wife. So to the extent that they have to resolve money issues between them, and there may need to be some mixing and matching, some things he gives her or vice versa, to make sure that the financial arrangements work out, then anything he owns may come into play. But they can't force a sale of something that you are an owner or a part owner in separately.
You got that?
I got that. I appreciate your input there.
Hey,
you're welcome, Butch.
It's really nice to have Rick Jones around. And by the way, he's from Goldberg Jones, 1-800-DIVORCE, Divorce for Men. Very cool. But call us at 1-800-252-1025. Let's jump down the line. Mike in Olympia, what's up?
Hey, morning, Danny. Love your show.
Thanks,
I had a question. Been with my wife since high school, 10th grade, 30 years. Ain't looking too good. Looks like we're going to get a divorce.
Were you 30 years old when you met her in high school, you filthy bastard?
Yeah. No, we were actually 17.
All right.
But,
all right. My forgiveness is
yeah, I know I'm going to have to give her half of the house and everything like that.
Oh, you're getting a divorce.
Am I going to have to pay her spousal support, too, since she's never worked a day in her life?
All right, here's how this the new Rick Jones and Danny Bonaducci show works. I'll give you the overview, and he'll give you the specifics. Yes? Okay, back to Rick.
Yes, and probably even a little worse than you think. She has no income history whatsoever as an adult?
No, never have.
Okay. Yeah, what the courts recognize is oftentimes a need or an issue called spousal maintenance, which is like the word alimony, and it really is a recognition of a disparity of income between two people. And to the extent that there's a significant difference, like you have, and that there's been a significant length of marriage, it's not uncommon to have, in your case, upwards of 8 to 10 years of spousal maintenance.
Hey, and let's not forget the lifestyle she's become accustomed.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that.
It's a test called need versus ability to pay in Washington. And so, yeah, you're really looking at a maintenance issue case. And I'll take it even one step further, which is dividing assets and liabilities may not be a 50-50 proposition. If there's going to be a tilt in favor of anybody, it's going to be in favor of the lesser earning person. So you may be looking at needing to cough up more than 50%. And I know that's bad news.
Hey, you know what you need to do, man?
Call you, huh?
Call 1-800-DIVORCE. Yes, that's exactly what you need to do. Let me just say this. I didn't mean to laugh and get all excited because this is a drag for you, and I'm sorry about that. I just liked being right in front of Rick Jones, and it made me very excited because it was cool. It's like, hey, Dad, did you see I got an A in history? Because it was very cool to be right. So I wasn't laughing and having fun at your pain because it's going to be a drag, dude. It really is.
Our next caller is Diana in Seattle.
Hey, Diana in Seattle, what up?
Well, I'm driving to work, and this isn't exactly a divorce question, but it could be.
It's early in the day.
My husband retired 4 years ago. We have a 14-year-old daughter. We live in the house. He bought his sister out of an inheritance and put our house, a lien on a second mortgage on our house that we live in now without my knowledge.
Yeah, and what would you like to know?
Well, I would like to know if we do get divorced, where does that leave me?
All right, it's a tangled web that we weave. This is so complicated. All I can tell you right now, because I had a lien on a house. I didn't do anything. A construction worker came in, did terrible work. I wouldn't pay him. He put a lien on my house. I had to take him to court. I won in 2 seconds. This is going to be unraveling the Gordian knot that is this situation is going to be a nightmare. And to be honest with you, I'm so glad Rick Jones is in the room for this phone call. What happens?
Well, I think you're okay here. Ultimately, when you look at if you're dividing up assets and liabilities in a divorce, it's about equities. It's about net worth. So to the extent that he put a, let's call it $100,000 lien on your property that you owned before, but turned it into $100,000 in equity on another piece of property, your balance sheet still remains the same. And the only issue is that it's now one layer more complex if you ever need to divide it back out. But he just took community monies and put it into another community property source.
Wow, you listen better than I do. I didn't know he bought another property and had more equity.
It's early. It's early.
It is early. I didn't know what time it was earlier. Okay, thank you very much for the phone call.
Here's Lori in Redmond. It's Danny Bonaducci, life coach with Rick Jones from 1-800-DIVORCE.
What up, Lori?
Hello, Sunshine.
Hello, Sunshine.
So I am divorced, and my ex-husband is supposed to pay maintenance and child support. After a couple of years, he stopped paying maintenance because I was living with my boyfriend. And now that he makes over a couple $100,000 a year, I would like to know if I could get that maintenance, because he stopped paying it, didn't go through the courts, just said, I'm not paying it. I don't have to pay it.
I will tell you this, that I tried to get that in my divorce decree, that if she lives with a man, then I get to stop paying alimony. And you can't believe how fast they told me that. F off. So I'm going to turn it over to Rick. But I will tell you, no matter what, this is a complicated situation, and it's going to get the good. Sometimes they're not that nasty, but this one's going to get nasty. Rick.
Yeah, I actually do think that there's an avenue for you. What you can do is you can seek a judgment for the unpaid spousal maintenance amount. So let's say that it's racked up now to $25,000. You can go to the court seeking a judgment of $25,000. He shows up and he either says, I paid it, which obviously he didn't do, and shows up with proof of that, or he gets a judgment against him. Now, at that point, you're really like anybody else that has a judgment, which is you have the issues of collection, which isn't always an easy thing to do. The courts may not be very willing to help you because it's only spousal maintenance as opposed to child support.
Did you get that?
Gotcha.
Thank you very much for the phone call. I appreciate it. Hey, that's all the time we have for Danny Bonaducci, life coach. Remember, some of you that called in today should call 1-800-DIVORCE. But anybody that needing a divorce for men or divorce in general, just call Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men, 1-800-DIVORCE. They're the guys that sponsor this segment.